They say you never forget the moment your safe place stops feeling safe. For me, that moment came when I pulled into my driveway after a brutal commute, ready to finally relax, and found our HOA president's luxury SUV sitting in the middle of my garage like she owned it. And later, when I locked that very same SUV inside and watched her lose it on camera, I knew this story was never going to be about a parking spot. I'm Mark Anderson, 38, IT guy, single dad to my 13-year-old daughter, Sophie. 3 months ago, I thought I was doing the right thing moving us into a picture-perfect neighborhood called Sunset Hills. Trimmed lawns, matching mailboxes, a shiny HOA promising stability and property value. What I didn't realize was that the HOA here might as well have stood for hell on arrival, because its president Karen Whitmore ruled the place like her own kingdom. The very first day while I was unpacking boxes, I walked out to put my car in the garage and froze. A gleaming white Mercedes SUV was parked dead center in my space. No note, no explanation. I just stood there, keys rattling in my hand, trying to make sense of it. Eventually, I knocked on doors until she answered Karen Whitmore herself. Crisp tennis outfit, fake smile, manicured hand. "Oh, you must be our new neighbor. That? Don't worry, it's just temporary. 5 minutes." 2 hours later, her car was still there while she walked in and out of her house like nothing was wrong. When she finally moved it, she left a handwritten note on my windshield. "Thanks for letting me borrow the space. Very neighborly of you." HOA President. Borrow. I hadn't lent her a damn thing. That was my first taste of her entitlement, but it was only the beginning. Within a week, I noticed devices on my Wi-Fi I didn't recognize. Netflix streams, large file downloads, all while I was at work. The router had been in the garage during the move, and somehow she'd gotten in. Then came the moment I couldn't ignore coming home to see her walking out of my garage like she'd just finished a day at the office. Turns out she had. She'd been setting up shop in there, plugging her laptop into my outlet, letting her little Pomeranian run around and piss in the corner. My garage wasn't a sanctuary anymore. It was being treated like her private annex. At dinner one night, Sophie tried to soften it. Maybe she's just confused dad. Maybe she doesn't know which garage belongs to which house. Sweet kid, but I knew better. Mrs. Peterson, a neighbor down the street, whispered to me one evening, "Be careful. She's forced out 4 families in 2 years. Document everything." The way she said it, half warning, half confession, made my stomach twist. So I set up a small hidden camera in the garage. I thought maybe I'd catch her parking illegally again. What I saw on that first recording nearly made me choke. She wasn't just parking there. She was rifling through my cabinets, unpacked boxes, treating my workshop like her property. She even let her dog relieve itself right next to Sarah's old storage trunk. That trunk held memories of my wife, the woman I lost to cancer 3 years earlier. The violation cut deeper than I can put into words. I wanted to scream, to storm over and confront her, but instead I drank a beer in that cold garage, staring at Sarah's photo and whispering, "Why does everything have to be so damn complicated?" For a while I considered giving up, just ignoring it, paying whatever fines came, and focusing on Sophie. Because what if Peterson was right? What if standing up to Karen meant we'd be the next family driven out? I felt weak, ashamed, like I was failing Sarah all over again. But then I dug deeper. My IT background came in handy. Router logs showed Karen's laptop accessing legal databases, property records, even mortgage info on neighbors. This wasn't some petty power trip, it was a full-blown operation. She'd research families, wait until they were vulnerable, then bury them in bogus violations until they sold their homes. The Williams family who lived here before me. They had photos, years of photos of Karen using this same garage. She'd driven them out when the husband lost his job and the wife got sick. It wasn't an accident that she targeted us right after Sarah's death. She saw us as prey. That night, Peterson told me what Karen had done to her own daughter's family while the son-in-law was deployed overseas. Harassed them until panic attacks forced them out of their home. Listening to her voice break, I felt something inside me snap. Enough. This wasn't just about me anymore. It was about Sophie, about Peterson's family, about every neighbor who'd been bullied. So I set a trap. I emailed Karen back about her compliance notice and told her I'd be out of townhouse empty. Sophie staying elsewhere. Then I wired the garage with multiple cameras, audio mics, motion sensors. I even upgraded the door lock so I could seal it remotely with an app. And I called in backup my friend Dave the lawyer and Deputy Mike Roberts, a sheriff whose daughter went to school with Sophie. Mike had seen this pattern before. These HOA tyrants think they're untouchable until someone stands up. Let's catch her in the act. Sure enough, Saturday afternoon she showed up with a locksmith. Clipboard in hand, dog bed tucked under her arm, laptop bag slung over her shoulder. "I'm the HOA president," she told the locksmith. "Emergency inspection. Full authority." Inside, she went confident as ever, plugging in her coffee machine, letting her dog loose, calling someone about Phase 2 property acquisition. I watched her through the cameras, jaw tight. She had no idea Deputy Roberts was crouched in the corner listening to every word. After 30 minutes of her setting up shop, Roberts stepped forward, badge out. "Ma'am, I'm Deputy Sheriff Roberts. You're under arrest for breaking and entering." Her face dropped, then twisted into rage. "You can't arrest me. I'm the HOA president. This is my jurisdiction." She actually said that. That's when I walked in, phone in hand. I pressed the app, heard the heavy click as the garage door locked. "Hello, Karen," I said, calm as ice. Comfortable in my garage. She spun toward me, eyes wide, pounding on the door. "This is entrapment. You planned this." Damn right I did. What she didn't know was that we were live streaming everything. Neighbors, local news, even strangers online were watching Karen Whitmore lose her mind, trapped in the very garage she'd been violating for months. The comments flew faster than I could read. Ho Karen, trending by the minute. When the patrol car finally pulled away with her screaming in the back seat, neighbors poured into the street. Some laughed, some cried, all of them relieved. At the emergency HOA meeting days later, her lawyers tried spinning it, but nobody bought it. One by one, families stood up and told their stories, thousands of dollars, drained medical crises, exploited children, traumatized. Then came the inspector's bombshell. Karen's own house had 17 violations. The hypocrisy was staggering. By the end, the vote was unanimous. She was stripped of every title. Facing felony charges, her reign finished. And me, I didn't need to gloat. Watching her storm out red-faced and humiliated was enough. I'd promised Sarah I'd protect Sophie, and for the first time in a long while, I felt like I'd kept that promise. Bullies always think they're untouchable until someone locks the door.